Hey, this is Brian with Transparency and Merit. Well, these social media companies, they're private companies, and I guess they can discriminate. Can restaurants and bars discriminate? I guess they can under the 1964 Civil Rights Act. They can't discriminate. Why are social media companies different? I guess you have to have the right type of thought to be on these social media companies. There are certain things you're not allowed to do or say on these social media companies. Some people are given special privileges. They're allowed to get away with things that other groups are not allowed to get away with, or at least that's the way it looks. Just want further examination of the facts, Now I'm looking here. Section 230, and it was passed by two houses, and it's an internet bill. I believe it I don't have time to read the whole thing, but I believe it's that they can't sue for, a lot of these social media companies can't be sued for copyright infringement, which makes them an open platform, not a publisher. Anyway, I'm going to discard my, the show's starting now. The show is now. I'm going to put this here. The show is now, and it's going to be short. The show's now, and it's going to be short. And now I'm going to just cut off my entire Discord. I'm going to quit it just for now, just because I don't want any distractions. So yeah, it frees them up from lawsuit because, they wanted, from my understanding, and you tell me, guys, if I'm wrong, this is Transparency and Merit, so I'm going to be honest, didn't read much of the 230 bill, but I understand. I thought it was a good thing to have different ideas and different thought processes coming through this information age. Instead, it seems like a lot of these social media companies are open platforms for people with the right type of thought. And some of these groups use these social media platforms, and I could be wrong on this, but there should be investigation if some of these groups are using these platforms to economically blacklist and do physical harm to ideological opponents, such as the things that Antifa does. And some would say Black Lives Matter and Antifa have joined forces and are doing the same thing. Could be wrong, but those are the reports that I've been hearing. And I use the word Tariq Nasheed and Stefan Molyneux. I've listened to them both off and on. I was a bigger fan of Stefan Molyneux than I was of Tariq Nasheed. I think Stefan Molyneux is, I like intellectual people like him. Tariq Nasheed is more emotionally based, not as logical, and has much more of a hair-trigger temper than Stefan Molyneux. The one thing I do notice is if you ever listen to both individuals, you will kind of see that Tariq Nasheed gets away with things that Stefan Molyneux would never get away with. Like I said, these social media companies allow certain people to get away with certain things, and certain people are punished for doing much less. At least that's what it looks like to me. And again, they say they're a private company, so they can discriminate. Private companies can discriminate? Is that what you mean? You're a private company, you can do whatever you want? Really? I don't think you can discriminate. As a private company, I don't think you're allowed to. At least under the 1964 Civil Rights Act, you're not allowed to discriminate if you're a private company and you're open to the public. And the 1964 Civil Rights Act was written with the 14th Amendment in mind. Equal protection under the law. There are a couple of criminal cases with the Proud Boys and Antifa. And we're seeing the direct result of social media censoring. They censored one of my videos because I had questions about, there was a scuffle in Portland. I forget the guy's name, but there was an assault case, but it looked like the other person was the aggressor, and it looked like self-defense. And I mentioned it, and my video got I tried to promote it, and they wouldn't allow me to do it. And then another time, there's another case in New York, and I don't think I did a show on that, but were two, I don't know, it was two or three groups of Antifa attacked Proud Boys, and it looks like they defended themselves. People say they may have went too far, but Antifa was the one who looks like it kind of broke, like what Stefan Molyneux would say. God, now the words escape me. What's it called? The Pact, the non-aggression principle. Antifa habitually breaks the non-aggression principle. And when the Proud Boys go to defend themselves, they're the ones who are prosecuted. So it seems like they have no right to defend themselves. And this case in New York, there were no victims that testified. They refused to cooperate. And yet they were still prosecuted. The Proud Boys in New York were still prosecuted for defending themselves from Antifa thugs. And the censorship has gotten worse after George Floyd. The censorship has been bad. The first stage of really bad censorship started after the Charlottesville incident. And then there were, like I said, there were a few other incidences where unhinged and crazy people did something, and that caused more censorship. And every time an incident happens that is supposedly, I guess, conservative, that's when social media goes into another rung of reestablishing its policies, which it's been doing, I believe, like since 2015. They started, and then 2016, after Trump got elected, they began ramping, just upping the ante as far as censorship goes. And people say these are private companies and they can do what they want. I say, really? I guess they can. I guess to them, private companies are allowed to censor if they want to censor. But then that's not an open forum. That's a publisher. And perhaps there needs to be 230 reform. Look, these people don't even want to debate you. They want to silence you. And is that really the kind of country you want to live in? Does the court of public opinion, who's allowed in the court of public opinion? Are you allowed, if you're being defamed or demeaned or demoralized, are you allowed to speak up for yourself? Seems like police can be demeaned. White people can be demeaned. And Susie tells me to stop crying. Susie's on here telling me to stop crying. I guess, well, I don't see myself as crying. I'm just saying, I guess people have the right to discriminate. If it's a conservative, if it's a white person, they have the right to do that. And there are certain subjects you can't talk about. That's just the truth of it. Of course, these folks feel their right to do so. Anyway, that's all I have to add on this subject. I might come back later on today and do a show, but I wanted to do a short one. I was really pissed off. I'm still kind of pissed off that they ended my ad for what I believe is no good reason at all. I don't think they should do that. You know what? Look, if I'm wrong, prove it. Just censor me. Prove me wrong. Oh, my God. Why do you victimize yourself? You're not a victim. Stop lowering yourself. And then it said, okay, so I was going to leave, but I'm going to stay on just a little bit later to add on to Susie. Susie Q72. And I don't know, by the way, if Susie Q is for real or not, if she's a real man or a real woman. But so she tells me to stop crying. Why do you victimize yourself? You are not a victim. Stop lowering yourself. This is a woman's work. Snap out of it. Please. 12:04 a.m. Won't ask who it was that made you this way. I guess it's considered a victim to speak up for your rights, to speak for what you believe to be justice. That Susie Q believes me to be a victim because I have the audacity to speak about my rights. Is that right, Susie? Do you have anything else to add before I end this puppy? No offense, Susie, but you sound absurd. Susie. Asking for your rights is an adult thing to do. Not a baby. Even though I have hair like a baby, I'm bald completely on top. But I'm not a baby, Susie. And shame on you for thinking. You know, anyway, it's so silly. Anyway, perhaps there needs to be Section 230 reform with a proviso in there for freedom of speech and freedom and clarity on what is allowed and what is not allowed on these platforms. What they call open platforms. It's really arbitrary, and it seems very, and I think they don't want to have an open debate, and they're so, I don't know what the word is, but they're so like non-clarifying just because they know to a degree that it sounds like garbage. That's just my opinion. If I'm wrong, tell me. Leave a message and tell me. Just calling me a crybaby is okay, Susie. Just calling me a crybaby isn't just calling me a crybaby isn't going to do the work. That is just silly. You're silly. You're silly. You're a silly little girl. Crybaby. Give me a break. You know what? You know who the crybaby is, Susie? It's you. You're the crybaby, not me. No tears. Look, no tears. Ooh, that hurt my eyes. You caused me to hurt my eyes because tell me I'm crying. What an absurdity. All right, I'm out of here. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. There we go. See, I don't know why she loves me. She's pissed me off several times. I think this might be Debbie. Okay, gotta go.